A bearing worth $30 can total a washing machine that cost you $800. That's trap number 1 on this countdown, the sealed plastic tub, and it decides whether your washer dies at year 5 or runs for 20. The average washing machine used to last 25 years. Today, a lot of them quietly give up somewhere just past the warranty, and it isn't an accident. It's a stack of design choices, most of them invisible on the showroom floor, and one name sits behind more of them than you'd guess. I'll get to Whirlpool in a minute. First, I dug through repair forums, tech channels, and warranty documents to find the failures that actually matter. The pattern held across every source. It's the same short list of weak points, over and over. The plan is simple. The traps that kill them first, then the only 4 machines repairmen actually buy for their own homes. You know that grinding roar a washer makes on the spin cycle when it's old? That's the tub bearing going. On a lot of modern machines, that bearing is sealed inside a plastic outer tub that doesn't come apart. The bearing itself costs almost nothing, but the tub it's trapped in is one welded piece. So to swap a $30 bearing, a tech has to replace the entire tub assembly. Parts and labor land near $600 on a machine that maybe cost $8. And here's the part that stings. The machine still runs otherwise. Motor fine, board fine, drum fine. One sealed part decides its whole life. No sane person pays that repair bill. They buy new, which is exactly what the design was always going to produce. Most front loaders, including Samsung, LG, and GE, use some version of this sealed tub. It isn't sabotage. It's just cheaper to build, and you're the one who eats it later. And yes, one of my 4 picks has this same tub, but it earns its place another way, so hold that thought. Next, the washer that fills, then just sits there, or spins without ever agitating. That's the shift actuator on Whirlpool's vertical modular platform, the VMW. It's a small plastic part that tells the machine whether to agitate or spin, and it's one of the most common failures techs see on that platform. It usually throws an F code, and the part itself is cheap. But the diagnosis, the labor, and the trip charge stack up fast. And Whirlpool doesn't just build Whirlpool. It also builds Maytag, Amana, Roper, and a stack of Kenmore machines. Remember that, because it comes back. Same platform, different badge, different price. Third, the machine that throws an error and simply won't run. The fix is usually a control board, and this is where it stings. A replacement board can run $200 to $300. On a machine that costs $600 or $700, that's a third to half the price for one part. Add a service call and you're past the point where fixing makes any sense. And it gets worse. Some of these boards get discontinued a few years in, so even an owner willing to pay can be left with no part to buy at all. Step back for a second. 3 traps in, and they all run the same logic. A cheap part in an expensive spot that you can't reach. That's the whole game. Now watch it get worse. Number 4. The high-efficiency top loader with no agitator. The one with the little cone in the bottom. A lot of those run a plastic transmission instead of the old metal gearbox. It's lighter, cheaper, and quieter. But plastic gears under a wet, heavy load for 10 years do what plastic does. They wear, they slip, and they don't rebuild. And you can't just buy the worn gear. The transmission comes as one sealed unit. It's priced like the heart of the machine, because it basically is. I get it, the thing looks modern and sleek, but sleek is doing a lot of hiding here. 5. The bargain front loader that smells like a locker room after a year. Cheap door boots trap water and grow mold, and undersized drain pump clogs on a single sock. And the bearings, sealed in that same plastic tub from trap 1, start to go around year 5. On some, the drum spider, the metal arm behind the tub, corrodes and cracks too. That's another job that means splitting the tub. You didn't buy a washer, you rented one, and the lease was shorter than you thought. Honestly, some of these are fine if you know what you're getting. But nobody tells you what you're getting. 6. The Wi-Fi washer that texts your phone when the cycle is done. Every screen, sensor, and radio is another board, another failure point, another part priced like it's rare. The texts I read all land in the same place. The more computer use stuff in the machine, the more that can quietly brick it. And the app support doesn't last forever. The board goes out of production, and the servers eventually go quiet. Your smart washer gets a lot less smart. I personally think a washer shouldn't run more software than my first car, but that's just me. Your call. And the last trap is the biggest, because it's the one hiding all the others. You walk the showroom and count 10 brands, but a huge share of what's on that floor comes from a small handful of companies. Whirlpool, remember, wears Maytag, Amana, and Roper too. The same platform can sit under 4 names at 4 different prices. So the premium badge you paid extra for, and the budget one you almost grabbed, can be the same machine with the same weak parts. Whirlpool is simply the biggest example, not the only one. A small group of parents builds a huge slice of the market. You weren't choosing between quality tiers. You were choosing a sticker. That's trap number 7. And it's exactly why this next part matters. The point was never to make you paranoid in an appliance store. It was to hand you the short list. And this same game runs across the whole store, not just the laundry room. It's why I keep an equipment version of this list. Mowers, generators, all of it. Because for every machine built to quit, there's one built to last. And the people who fix these for a living know precisely which is which. So here are the only 4 washing machines repairmen actually buy for themselves. First, and this one's almost free, the old direct drive Whirlpool and Maytag top loaders, the design from before roughly 2010. The same company behind trap number 2 built one of the most repairable machines ever made, then retired it. A clutch, a coupler, a belt. All cheap, all serviceable at your kitchen table with a screwdriver. A coupler runs about $10. A lid switch, not much more. This is the machine your uncle keeps in the basement and never talks about. The caveat is real. You have to buy it used, and clean ones are getting scarce. But a good one runs for decades, and the parts are everywhere. Second, and yes, this is the front loader I teased. The LG direct drive machines bolt the motor straight to the drum with no belt and no pulley to wear out. And LG backs that motor with a 10-year warranty, while almost everyone else hands you one. Now for the honest part, the forums love to trash LG. But the actual service data, the repair rates the industry quietly tracks, puts them among the more reliable front loaders you can buy. The inverter motor has few wear parts, and that's what the long warranty is really protecting. It still has that sealed tub, so leave the door open to dry and clean the pump filter now and then. Do that, and it earns its spot. Third is the one repairmen bring up first, Speed Queen. Their top-load machines still use a real metal transmission, the kind everything else swapped for plastic. Speed Queen designs and tests them to a 25-year life, and some models carry a warranty measured in years, not the industry's 12 months. If it were my money, this is the one I'd buy. The classic top loader is the one purists chase. But the current top load line still runs that metal drive underneath. The caveat, because there's always one. It costs more up front, it washes plain with no clever cycles. And a recent eco redesign annoyed longtime fans. But you're buying a tank, not a gadget. And fourth, if the budget is there, Miele, the German machines are built and tested to around 20 years of use, or 10,000 hours. It's the closest thing to buy it once and forget it. The honeycomb drum is gentler on fabric, and the build quality feels closer to a lab instrument than an appliance. The caveat is the price, which can cross $2,000. And out-of-warranty repairs aren't cheap either, with fewer techs who service them here. But nobody I've read who owns one regrets it. That's the gold standard, and it's a fitting place to end the list. So this is the whole thing in one line. A washing machine isn't a gadget you toss and replace. It's a machine you keep, if you buy the right one. The industry quietly made most of them disposable, then priced the repairs so you'd never bother. But 4 of them still refuse to play along. Buy the used direct drive if you want it nearly free. Go LG if you want a front loader that actually lasts. Go Speed Queen if you want a tank. And reach for Miele if the budget stretches that far. And yes, I just spent 10 minutes telling you to be suspicious of a washing machine. But next time you're in that aisle, phone in one hand, wallet in the other, you'll know exactly what you're looking at. One honest note, nobody sponsors this channel, and no brand pays me to point you anywhere. The warranty and dealer playbook is the part I couldn't fit here. What quietly voids your coverage and why the dealer beats the badge. My brother-in-law nearly bought the exact machine I just warned you about. You got today's answer free either way. But if it stops $1-800 mistake, it's $19.99 once. Scan the code or the links in the description and pinned comment. Want the same tear down on the dryer sitting right next to it? I pulled that one apart too, and the brand that dominates it will surprise you. YouTube thinks you'll like this video, so click it. And if you made it to the end, subscribe